Hello and good afternoon to Forum Romano. Today is a grand day. Odysseus has returned from his long journey, and we will be interviewing him about one of his most exhilarating encounters with the Cyclops, Polyphemus, who is said to be the very reason for his lengthy journey. It has been heard that Odysseus would have died if it weren't for his caution and clever thinking, which leads to our phrase of the day, abundance cantilla non nocet. But before we go any further, let's speak to our historian, Septimus. So what do Cyclops look like?
Thank you, Sextus, for having me on. Cyclops are a very unique creature. They are 2 to 3 times the size of a normal human, with one very large eyeball in the center of their foreheads.
How did they come to be?
Well, Sextus, there are 2 different generations of Cyclopses. The first were the offspring of Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, the sky, and they consisted of the 3 brothers, Arges the brightener, Steropes the flasher, and Brontes the thunderer. These 3 brothers were essentially the blacksmith for the Olympian gods and the demigods, wielding powerful weapons like Zeus's lightning bolt, Hades' helmet, and Poseidon's trident. But because Uranus hated all his offspring, he had them imprisoned within the earth. But when Cronus defeated Uranus, the Cyclopses were freed for the first time. But Cronus was fearful of their power and had them thrown in Tartarus. The Cyclopses remained imprisoned again until Zeus, the eldest child of Cronus, defeats him using the help of the Cyclopses' thunderbolt. Gracious for their aid, Zeus allowed the Cyclopses to live on Mount Olympus as the men of Hephaestus, the god of smiths, until they died.
What happened? What was the cause of the deaths?
Legend states, Mortibus nobilis fortis Cyclopses venit ut praecassini of Apollo abhorrentes ira deus percussit Aesculapius Apollonius filias fome quando extuit de mortuis quit. Apollo indignabatur Zeus interfecit Cyclopses faciendo per fulmen.
What does that mean?
The deaths of the noble and brave Cyclopses came as a result of Apollo's misplaced anger. Zeus killed Asclepius, Apollo's son, with a thunderbolt for bringing a person back from the dead. Apollo, angered at Zeus, killed the Cyclopses for making a thunderbolt. He's smart. It is said that their ghosts still linger today in the spirit of Mount Etna.
What about the second generation?
The second generation of Cyclopses is the generation Polyphemus came from. These Cyclopses are the children of Poseidon and the sea nymph Thosa. In contrast to the first generation, these Cyclopses are barbaric shepherds who live in Sicily. They no longer have the metalworking and weapon-making skill of the previous Cyclopses. These Cyclopses dwell in caves in Sicily and fend for themselves. There is no law governing them.
Thank you for your time, Septimus. Now that Odysseus has come, we will turn the conversation to him and have him relate his story about the Cyclops. So what are Cyclops like?
Hello, I just want everyone to know that Cyclops are very aggressive creatures. They are also very strong and quick to anger. Every single action of theirs is filled with anger and ferocity. Well, upon my return from the sack of Troy, the winds blew me off course and I eventually ended up on an unknown island. Curious, I set off to explore the island with my men. We eventually reached a cave filled with milk and cheese. I decided it would be best to take the food and leave the island. When the Cyclops Polyphemus entered, after killing 8 of my men, I decided to distract him by offering him the wine that I had brought with me to make him drunk. I told him that it was a gift from nobody, so that when I stabbed him in the eye, he wouldn't be able to tell his fellow Cyclops that it was I who stabbed him. The next morning, he led the sheep out of the cave. We hung underneath them and escaped.
It is said that it was Polyphemus who made your journey so long and treacherous. Is that true?
Well, when my men and I returned to the boat after having escaped, I yelled to the Cyclops, "If anyone asks who put your eye out, tell them it was Odysseus, son of Laertes and the king of Ithaca." Polyphemus then began to pick up boulders and throw them at us now that he heard which direction my voice was coming from. Although he missed every time, he prayed, "Father Poseidon, I pray that Odysseus, son of Laertes and the king of Ithaca, will never see home again. But if it is fated for him to return, I pray that he'll arrive late with everything lost and that he'll face more trouble at home."
That is it, everyone. You have heard from Odysseus himself, the likeness of the Cyclops. Have a great day, and remember, abundance catella non nocet.